Welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
I'm Jordan, brother.
Hey. Oh,
what's up?
How's it going? Dude, I'm so bad. I feel terrible. I just want to get that out of the way.
All right, what are we doing today?
I'm so tired.
We're a little slow.
I'm EP, I'm sleepy, I'm dreepy, and I don't even fucking evolve into Dracloak until level 63. I actually, 63? When does, I actually don't know. It's still 6'3". When does, can you look up dreepy evolution levels?
Do you ever get that thing where like you are very drowsy and feeling...
Level 60, Dragapult. Dracloak at 50, Dragapult at 60.
Oh, so I don't know.
5, 6,
appeal to the
7, 8, 9.
We're mentioning it mainly just because we went to the Lakers game. What, like
we went to the Lakers Mavs game,
and every single time, do they call it a jumbotron at a basketball game, or is that the domain of the football? Okay,
and I mean that's what I would call it.
Every time that the panopticon camera would seek and find like a kid dancing, they would just be doing normal fun kid stuff, and then their eyes roll back in their head and they instantly start going.
Because what are you supposed to do? Like, there is a point when you have a camera on you. This has never happened to me, but just from observing jumbotron videos over the years, there's like a first few seconds that's like really cute, and then when they hold the camera, you go, all right, what are we doing here? I don't have another 3 seconds of entertainment of material.
It's honestly very validating to see other people anxious about dead air.
Yeah,
because they're hitting the like, and then they like poke their wife, and they're like,
yeah, you just start like doing a TikTok dance or a Fortnite dance. How are you though? Enough about me. How are you?
Well, I was gonna ask. When you are drowsy, because I
don't even evolve into Hypno until level 41. Can you look up when drowsy evolves into Hypno?
When you're Pichu, okay. 41
is it? I said 41 or 27. Those are my two options. 26.
Oh, it was 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6, 7.
You fucked it up. But like, do you have a typical pattern of why and how, or is it the old dice roll, wait, what the hell, I went to bed but I woke up tired?
It's a little bit wait, what the hell. Part of it is that I woke up early because I was supposed to have a meeting this morning, but then I got a text that person's meeting was going late, and then I didn't want it to bleed into podcast recording, so we rescheduled the meeting, but I was still like in this drowsy Hypno snooze unsnooze type situation.
Caradosi.
And it, yeah, in and out of lucidity.
Did you go back to Kip at all after meeting moved?
I wanted to, but I was afraid.
I think that is the danger zone.
I was afraid because Jacob and Anastasia were coming over to set up, and I needed to like clean some stuff off, and so I just never really got my bearings, and it's all my doing.
It feels like a little bit like getting into a movie after the first 15 minutes. And it's like, maybe you were late, or maybe the traffic was bad, or like just maybe you had to figure something else out. But you turn up and you're like, okay, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to understand everything as much as everyone else is. There's just no way. So he's Luke Skywalker. He's like a Star Wars or something.
This happened to me like in college and high school. Like whenever I had work to do, I would like suddenly get tired. It'd be like, oh, my body actually wants to shut down. And that is like a little bit how I feel right now, not because of the podcast, but because this week is just so busy.
It's mental.
And there's so many things to be doing. And the thought of it makes me anxious. Like I was at a friend's giving type thing last night. And
that's where you trade friends.
Yeah. Well, you give them away.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's actually not.
To people who don't have any friends. Yeah.
It's not giving.
Yeah. But and then I was talking to friend of the show, Emma Langevin, and Emma was like, oh, we have the same social schedule this week. And it was like, we have this thing tonight. We have this thing tomorrow night.
We got this thing tonight.
Yeah.
This thing tomorrow.
Yeah. Then the jersey, I can't even do. I'm walking. They were like, I'm walking here. Okay. Okay. Using me's got events to do.
If you catch my drift.
If you catch my drift. And when Emma laid it out, I was like, oh no, you're right. And I had even forgotten. Like, there's a point where Emma was like, oh yeah, and then we got this tomorrow. And I was like, oh, you're right.
No.
And I had something else in my calendar for that time slot tomorrow. And now there's even more. No. And then it just keeps going until the weekend.
And then it happens, and each beat, these are things for the most part I want, right? So it's not like
it's all good problems, baby. It's all champagne. It's all champagne problems. So it's feels silly to complain.
But
because people have real problems in life.
I want to say like I'm very grateful for if I'm a little burned out, but I wouldn't mind a little socializing. I think someone else's birthday is the perfect venue because the focal point is never and should never be on you.
Yeah.
And there is enough of an obligation to get my feet moving, which is what I need to make my brain move, to make me get in the car, to make me go to the thing. Like the momentum is there.
Right.
But if you're ultra EP, you're at peak EP, and it's like, okay, Thursday at 4, there is a long meeting. I think that is the peak, because it's not the end of the day, so you haven't shut down. You can't even have a silly sleepy meeting. You need to be on and ready to rock, but you also know that you're not going to be at your best, but you also know you kind of have to be because everyone else is going to be not at their best. That's a no-no. If someone invites me, like, oh, then we're getting dinner at like 7 or something, or I'm just like, when I would like call back to the UK a lot, I'd be like, okay, I know, I'm talking to my aunt at, we're going to call it like 8 a.m. Now that is a perfectly reasonable time to have on a phone call. And yet, because there was a thing coming up, it'd be like 6 p.m. the day before. I'd be like, I don't know if I can do this.
Oh, dude.
I don't know if I can figure out a way to.
I've been in a little combo of a combo streak of the night before, remembering being like, I can finally relax, and then immediately getting anxious because I need to be asleep, because I need to be up early for the next thing.
There's ADHD related behavior, I guess, about like the anxiety that comes from knowing about upcoming plans, like something on the horizon, which is nothing to do with like the actual pressure. Like,
yeah, I don't know if that has a name, but it's like the thing where if you have like a meeting at 3 p.m., you don't do anything before the meeting, and then after the meeting, you're like, well, that was exhausting.
And then I'm late.
Yeah.
I'm like anxious about it for the 5 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whoops, rats.
So even in this conversation, you mentioned a birthday party, and we're going to a birthday party tonight, and then I just realized that I don't have a gift. So now there's more.
What about what we're doing right now?
Our presence is a present, is what you're saying?
This podcast?
We gift it.
This is a gift.
This is a gift. That's true.
This is Thanksgiving.
But it's not their birthday.
Gotta be one of them, right?
Someone in there. If it's your birthday, happy birthday.
Care.
We got.
Oh, sorry. Yes, happy birthday.
Never mind.
Hey, happy birthday, Helena.
Oh, okay. I was gonna go with Joe.
Let's cover the. You want to throw a name out there?
Martina Navratilova.
Who's that?
She's an old tennis player.
Oh, it's probably
Maria Sharapova.
I'll go with Jacob. Happy birthday, Jacob.
Thank you.
No, that one.
Emma Raducanu. She's a current tennis player. I think that's her name.
Racket Spinaroonie.
Remember the Racketeurs, the band with Jack White?
Oh my God, I do. Le Raconteur.
Yeah.
I had a huge White Stripes phase, and I don't think it was anything to do with the music. I think it was like
You just liked White Stripes?
I think that was. I really liked bright white stripes. And
you were French.
Black stripes.
Oh, you were in jail or you were French?
I was saying, ooh la la, let me out of jail.
Okay, so we're both doing bad.
But wait.
Superman does bad. We're not doing well.
We are. Hold on. I'm manifesting positive energy. Okay. I'm in my mind palace.
I fell asleep. Do you see Trump fell asleep in a meeting?
That's kind of his martial art these days.
Dude, that's going to be me. I'm going to fall asleep on a podcast.
Wait, were we talking last week about, I don't even think it was on mic, the idea of like a glorious golden age of sad boys where we're just on drugs.
Oh,
and it's like four amazing episodes.
And then it would be like, this is horrible and sad.
Over. There's nothing. Just we're drunk. It's so fun.
Doesn't it make you kind of... I'm going to say something that I actually don't agree with.
We're not on any drugs.
That I don't condone.
Like, we're not on any non-prescribed drugs.
Don't you think about like Elvis being constantly pumped full of uppers to get him on stage.
He was really good at music.
But sometimes it's like, God, that'd be nice. Like,
I was gonna say that's
so
kind of how
done.
it feels to get out of bed in the morning. I feel like I kind of wish there was like a guy who could like come to my house,
like
come to my room,
IV drip.
Murray,
right? Like
Oh,
who could just like dump water on my face and then leave.
David Goggins.
You've talked about this before.
I know. I'm calling back.
You want a professional to wake you up,
but I don't want him to talk to me or look at me.
I think I
and you want him to go into a closet when he's done and never.
I want him to stare at a wall.
I want him to fall back in like a Murphy bed. Straight
I need
back
one of
into,
those
like, next to
Tesla
mine.
robots.
Oh wait,
A
Jacob,
Tesla truck.
can you please play the Instagram that I put in the group chat?
All right, Grandma. How else do you want to phrase that? Can you put my iPad on the download, please?
I just wanted to be specific.
My nephew was showing me how to use the iPad.
Because I think this is what you need.
Damn. He's moving. He's got dad jeans.
What if every morning he came out of a closet towards your bed?
I think he should he should come out of a closet. He should grab me by the neck and then lift me out of my bed and then say, "Your day begins now."
iRobot.
And then this music starts playing. He starts dancing around,
Yeah.
holding you aloft.
He has like a Super Mario Sunshine like water pump behind him, and he just like shoots me in the face with the water.
He jumps above you and then shoots the jet down all over you.
So.
Oh, if you could take me out of my bed into a tub.
When I was a young boy, my
Grommet.
father took me into the city to see a marching band. No, only a few years ago, I felt like it was difficult to do bipedal robots, and now they're dancing. What the fuck is that?
I feel like I get an update on the dancing element every year. Can we do like hospital stuff?
I know there was like a soccer playing robot, and it's like, do we need that?
Okay, we had that backflip dog puppy thing 20 years ago.
You know, it's like, and to play devil's advocate, because I love to
God.
advocate for the devil.
He's evil.
I understand that half the time those things are like, they're small proof of concept type problems that cover some of the progress that we need to make in order to drive to these like larger accomplishments.
Look how good its mobility is. Like the gyroscope keeps it from falling over.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like, okay, but like, can we have one that's like a big scalpel that does surgery or something?
Yeah. Jordan and I had a boys' night.
We did, yeah. Nice.
Last week when we went to the Laker game. It was nice. We like had some little solo boys time. We went to a little sports bar. We like sat at the bar. The bartender was like flirting with us both at the same time so that it was cute and not weird.
Yeah.
You know,
it was nice. It was cool.
It was very nice. And then we were watching sports, and I was telling Jordan lore about college football teams, and Jordan was telling me lore about UFC. It was very sweet.
Couple blokes.
It was like
it's
kind of like a podcast, but like sometimes you got to do that shit in private, you know?
Yeah. Swap this out for an old fashioned.
And then we went to the Laker game, and
Who are the boys that you saw?
we saw.
Oh my God,
I mean, where do we start?
Most talented 3-year-old I've ever seen.
We had the most talented infant child, Austin Reeves. He's a perfect little baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
Most talented Zygo on the field.
We had Luka Doncic. We had King James, not LeBron, like King James from the Bible.
The 6th, I believe.
as his edition of the Bible.
Yeah.
And then very early on, it was Jordan's first basketball game.
Babies first.
Baby's first.
I was like, what the hell is that? It was the player.
And I do feel like
He's big.
there were some really like hype moments. Like there was a Luka lob to LeBron, like alley-oop dunk, like very early in the game. And
that's like something that you're going to tell your kids about.
Yeah, you like don't see that every day. And
No.
so it was a huge like, Jordan was like, oh, and we like all popped off. It was great.
It was really fun. I think it was a compliment to a lot of stuff we like. I think we are so I mean, I don't speak for both of us, but like we travel very well together, I think, because we know each other's like vibes and preferences.
Yeah.
And I think this was
fit in one suitcase too.
I think we like, if one of our energy is even a little different than the other, I feel like we adapt pretty quickly without it feeling, personally, I feel like it isn't especially forced. It's more like, oh, this is the tempo of this song. Oh, and now I'm switching this one. I'm switching scale. Like there wasn't a whole lot going on in my day before no, there was. Oh
no,
my God.
I was gonna say you were like, I think it was like especially nice because that week was there was some like private life stuff going on.
It was the end of a really up there kind of week of helping with and stress.
Yeah. And so I was like, the whole time I was like really just hoping that you'd be able to make the game, because I was like, if we can just do this, this will be so good to be able to have like a nice thing that's not stressful.
It felt like getting when you hear anecdotes of like, we got to get a babysitter for the kids so we can have date night.
Right.
We got to add the flame. We got to keep this relationship alive. And then we had it, and it was like, purely unconditional fun time. Shout out to the lady sat to our left.
Oh yeah.
Who you explain this, because I was absent.
So I don't know what this was, but you know, there was a couple sat to the left of Jordan and myself, and when Jordan went to the bathroom,
which ruled,
he's always a peeing bastard or whatever.
I was just checking out what's going on.
The woman like was making like an uncomfortable amount of eye contact, like unbroken eye contact, where she was like,
"With you?"
Mm-hmm. And then she was like, "It's so crazy. We're sat next to you guys."
Why?
My thoughts exactly. And so I was like, oh, is this like a person who's like familiar with us from something? But they never came out and said that. And so then I'm in a position where I don't want to assume. And so I'm just like, yeah.
I mean,
like, yeah.
On a cosmic level, she is right. Out of every single person that's ever existed out of all of time, what are the chances?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. On a, you're at a basketball game where every seat is taken. You're going to probably be sat next to someone.
Yeah, I was so confused.
But we were flanked by then the cutest baby ever, who was
cutest baby
in.
ever. And
they were hitting the same stare, except
that was awesome.
Except they were like,
there's a point where
they were loving the side of Jarvis's head.
There was a point where the baby like kind of jutted its arm out, and it kind of just like did this to me, and I was like, "This is awesome.
I could take this baby."
So you know what? You understand me now.
I'll give it a rest. Come on, man.
No, I'd never say such a thing.
But it's like, if we extrapolate on this to like, I'm getting lunch with this baby.
But it's like when you're like meeting up for lunch with a baby, and they're so excited to see you. They're like, you know, there's recognition there,
right.
Or they're just like, well, you know,
giggling. Or they're just doing like, being a baby.
I'm drunk. They are kind of just drunk, like all the time.
They act like a drunk person.
I am meeting with a baby later this week.
Yeah, I was like, what time should I be there?
I know you got to stop.
We've got this high pressure week. We've got, when you've got a meeting with a baby at like 4 p.m. on a Thursday.
I have been describing my week to people, and I am including I've got to meet a baby.
You got to be ready.
I got to meet a baby because I'm meeting the Stans' baby.
Baby Stans.
Baby Stans. Rochelle is the strongest woman alive, and she birthed a human, and they are now at home. And the funniest thing with Stans was like, I'm free. He's like, I'm pretty free this week. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Well, that's because he doesn't sleep.
Yeah. I'm like, I know what he meant, but like, it's just funny the way he phrased it.
I've always pictured Nate recovering energy by sitting on one of those like Roomba charging discs, and just sits for a while and like.
I assume it's going on rhymezone.com and just looking at near rhymes to different words.
I need a rhyme, and it's the time.
It's
a little joke for the people familiar with Stans and his unique style of speech,
which I love.
It's the best. Yeah. This episode is sponsored by Aura Frames.
Aura Frames are the perfect way to be the ultimate gift giver this holiday season. They're personal, easy to use, and unforgettable.
It's the perfect gift for those who already have everything or who are notoriously tricky to shop for.
Aura Frames allow you to upload unlimited photos and videos with no memory card required. And when gifting an Aura Frame, you can preload your desired photos and videos on it, so when your recipient receives their gift, they can see all the photos you put on there.
And once it's set up, you can share photos and videos from any device you have directly to the frame, and they will instantly appear no matter where it is in the world.
Aura Frames have meticulously calibrated high-resolution displays, so it looks less like a screen and more like a photo, as you can see here. Truly, it looks incredible.
It looks like it just doesn't bounce light directly back into my eyes. It looks like a frame.
Speaking of light, it automatically adjusts to the light level of the room. So you dim the lights, it's going to consume less energy.
You can change photos, view details, or even like. Look at that, I'm liking you.
Hey, stop. Stop that.
By tapping and swiping this little touch bar on the edge of the frame, so you don't get your grubby little fingerprints and smudges all over the display.
Don't wait. Win the holidays with Aura frames.
And for a limited time, you can get $35 off the Aura Carver frame, which was named #1 by Wirecutter, by visiting auraframes.com and using promo code SADBOYS.
AURA frames.com. Promo code SADBOYS.
That's us.
With a Z, don't forget the Z. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now before they're sold out, so you get it in time for the holidays.
And be sure to mention us at checkout to support the show. Support us.
Support me, please. Come on, give me your support.
Come on, give us your support. Terms and conditions apply. Oh, another thing that happened at the Laker game, which is just fun. It's just like when a random like something crazy happens and then a random stranger pops off and then daps you up. Like that was like that happened and it was very smooth.
The guy right in front of us popped off. It was like, yeah!
Then it came over.
Like, let's go!
Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's do it, dude.
It was I love stuff like that because I think that's like premium dude stim.
It is.
It's like there with like, I'll get the usual, and they bring you the right drink.
It makes me feel like I'm passing as a guy.
Yeah,
I'm like nobody knows. I'm like, oh, this is like crazy.
They don't even know I'm a soy boy.
It's like no, but like as someone who didn't grow up with like a father figure,
being
there is a certain insecurity about dude approval or like being a dude in a dude space. Not that basketball is a dude space, but in that zone of a dude turns around to dap me up, I'm in dude. I have to go dude mode.
It is sometimes nice to be welcomed in, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like until I was older, I didn't realize that I was always definitely like more conscientious about seeking the approval of the men in my life than anyone. Oh, definitely. And then now, older in retrospect, I'm like, oh, it's because I wanted to be like dude validated because I didn't, same
which
position,
is
right?
like that was the precursor to Dude Perfect.
Yeah. It was just
dude validated.
Going like, well, you missed, but that was a really nice shot, man. That was really close.
It's like or like as they're coming up with the name for it, they're like the attempt fellows. No, the try guys.
Give it a swingers.
Dude validated. No, dude perfect.
Dude perfect. Dude Pride Rock.
You saw Clay Bay, former Warrior, current Maverick.
We did see we did see Meg the Stallion's Bay, Klay Thompson, and he's not in his peak of his career right now, and there were a few moments that I was like, please, I was like rooting for him to not be embarrassed. But he's actually like after that game he had like a crazy scoring performance, so I'm like, Clay still got it.
He's like way better than me at basketball.
I believe
Not
that.
even close. No, I mean like twice as good.
Also, we saw Cooper Flagg, who's a young baby.
Yeah, one of the most talented atoms I've ever seen. One of the most talented embryos in history.
Yeah, he's such a young boy. Second youngest player to ever play in the NBA.
You're the youngest person ever.
Yeah, that's literally
That would be huge.
Speaking of young people, Gen Z ain't anymore.
Oh, true.
This is cool. This is a sass I haven't seen.
Yeah, why are you so sassy?
I'm just kidding. They're totally young. It just seems like Gen Z is freaking out about being old now.
You switched up on the sassiness.
It happens to the best of us. I will say though that like I've endured years of Gen Z like pointing at me and calling me old, and I'm like, oh, now it's a little interesting now, huh? Getting older. How you couldn't have predicted this would happen to you as well.
Who's Unc now?
Yeah.
Jarvis had a recent
Uncling.
Instagram story where you showed the first time you saw Childish Gambino in
because
concert.
I went to Camp Flog Gnaw and saw Childish Gambino, and it didn't really connect. Like I didn't really connect how important it would be to me, and then I like kind of was going back on memory lane because there was a few. I think he did like a fan voted set list. And
oh shit!
And so some of the songs that he played were like extremely old songs. Like he played Freaks and Geeks, which is like old but famous. But he also played like Do You Like, which is like a a song from Cul-de-sac, his like 2010 album before Freaks and Geeks and stuff like that. And I was so surprised, and I was like in this minority of people who, well, like me and Isaiah were popping off, but like I was in this minority of people. He was like, oh, there's some like old heads, and I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And then I posted another photo that I had that was me and Donald Glover that I took when I was like a teenager, and I couldn't remember exactly where that photo was taken. I just knew roughly the year it was taken. So then I went into my email and I found the receipts for the Childish Gambino concerts that I went to. And I went to like 3 or 4 within like a year span around like 2011, 2012. And the ticket prices, these were small venues in Atlanta and Athens, but the ticket prices were like $15 to $30. And so people were like, oh my God, like these are so cheap. But I'm like, what you have to understand is like, yes, they're cheap. Yes, concerts are expensive now as well. But also, if you go see a small artist, the ticket price is cheaper than
he was playing smaller venues, had a smaller following back then.
Like the
ticket was also generally cheaper relative to other lifestyle costs.
Well, it's like if you go see a Sad Boys live show, for example, the ticket price is not going to be $100. It's no
$500.
It's like
we should do $200.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. It's like I consider myself a small artist, like Childish Gambino.
I would consider myself bigger than him for sure.
But no, it's like so that is it's like those type of shows still exist, but this artist that is big now was once small. Like for example, Drake opened for Lupe Fiasco at the University of Florida when I was in high school, and the tickets were $5.
Wow.
I didn't go to that concert, but I heard about it.
But you got a bunch of comments on your post.
But I got a bunch of comments, and everyone is pointing at me and calling me old. And I'm like, hey, that's true, I guess. But it's all relative. Like, I'm young in the grand scheme of things. I would hopefully have a lot of life left. But we'll see. When you're younger, if someone's even a couple years older than you, they seem so much older.
Yeah, you operate on cousin math for a good few years.
Yeah.
You're the cousin that was born 9 months before you, or like you're just like, oh wow, are you 40? I don't understand.
Yeah, or it's like if you're like 18, you're a high school senior, and you have a 12-year-old younger brother, that is a big difference until you get older, and then it's a small difference.
You're both in your 20s.
Because of the relativistic nature of time.
Yeah, I just, very specific opinion on aging, or at least the experience of it so far. I'm not at all bothered by my age going up. That is pretty arbitrary to me. It's only what like actual faculties change and stuff like that. And I feel like at this age, I'm 31. I don't think I can differentiate between what about me is changing or has changed because of my age versus what has changed about me because of my circumstances and lifestyle. I think I definitely feel like I'm getting foggier, but I also think that my expectations of myself has shifted in a way that I'm sure if I chatted to a 25-year-old version of me, I'd go like, oh, this kid's a fucking idiot.
That's the thing.
He's quicker, but he's stupid.
When I first got diagnosed with ADHD, part of it was that I felt foggier and stupider, and I couldn't like think the way I wanted to. But then I went back and like, because I have that podcast recording from when I was 14, it's like I can listen to a full conversation that I'm having as a child, and not as much has changed as I thought. I thought that, some of my speech patterns were a little more drawn out, et cetera, et cetera. It's really just like my judgment of myself. Like I was being so much more hyper vigilant of myself and holding myself to a much different standard than I would if I was not in an industry where I'm having to look at myself talk or pay attention to myself, how I sound on mic.
I get a lot of peace now from being very confident about what I'm bad at. And that at one point of time, I think when you don't know which class you've chosen, if you don't know if you're going fighter or wizard, and someone's like, hey, you're really like, I don't think you're very good at magic. You're like, I'm a wizard. I actually was going to be a wizard. And you kind of were never going to be a wizard. You kind of are just a fighter, but you're like, no, I'm a wizard and I'm a fighter, because you don't know which thing you need to value yet.
I know what you mean. Like finding comfort in yourself is a big part of it. But yeah, just I feel very self-conscious about aging still, because I think I've said this on the show multiple times, where like when I turned 19, I was like self-conscious about aging because Mark Zuckerberg made Facebook when he was 19. And so I was like, oh, I haven't achieved enough.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so I think I always kind of like, this isn't an active thought. It's more like kind of a, you know, we're sometimes like beholden to like the way our neural pathways have already been paved. So we just have these tendencies. And so like my tendency is to feel like I haven't done enough, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And so I have
comparison is the thief of joy.
Right. And I also just have to nip that in the bud because it's not like an objective reality. But it is.
There's always something to not achieve.
Yeah, that's true. And also it's just like achievement isn't the point of life as well. Also, I've achieved plenty, but it's so easy for me to critique myself.
I one time went to a panel of comedians and improvisers that I admired, and Amy Poehler was on that panel, and she said that looking back in her 20s, she was trying so hard to do all these things. Like she was extremely active and excited to like achieve things, but you're young and you're just barely figuring things out. Like you don't really know yourself.
Yeah, you
or
don't
the
have
world
heuristics
yet.
on like what you're supposed to even be doing.
You're the least qualified person to assess your own behavior.
Right. But you have a bunch of hope, and that's huge. In your 30s, you understand the world better and you understand yourself better, but you have less hope. And so you're now like scrambling to achieve all the things you dreamt of doing. But then in your 40s, you stop caring. And I actually, for my life, that has actually been true. I think in my 40s, I'm just like much more pleased with everything. Like,
that's good.
I think this is actually great because talking about Gen Z aging, we're going to get a couple different perspectives.
Right.
I am so curious how old
age.
this kid is, because when I look at, I'll see a kid like this, right? It looks like this kid. And I go like, oh, what? He's like 11 or something?
Yeah.
And then I'll find out he's like been driving for 10 years.
Yeah. And I want to get into this.
So
but
he created an audio that went viral that we'll listen to.
All right. We'll listen to it in just a second. I just wanted to say that at this Friendsgiving that I was at last night, I realized I have to stop playing into being old because I was doing that. Someone was like, what are you, like 42? And I was like, that was the first time I had someone like way over guess my age. So I was like, I should just shut up.
Were they doing it's a bit?
No.
How old were they?
I think if you talk about being old,
Yeah.
people think you're
must
older than
assume
you
older.
are.
Yeah. That's kind of what I mean.
How old was the person that said it, Ish?
Like 28.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It didn't make me feel good, but
I guess then in that case, they'd be like, yeah, you can't be 33 if you're talking about being old.
yeah.
I think it is one of those things too, that the more you talk about it, the more importance you put on age, when ultimately it's actually not important. Like June Squibb became an actor when she was 60 and she had an amazing career. That's her name.
Like,
I
isn't
don't
a
know.
squib the Hollywood term for like someone who's going to die in a scene?
It's explosion
Oh,
pack
yeah.
that shoots blood out.
Yeah.
Whoa, like when she exploded. It's named after her blowing up. When I was a kid, I 100% believed in spontaneous combustion as just something that could happen to anyone by chance.
See, and now
And
you've grown.
Unsolved Mysteries basically told me that verbatim.
For real?
Yeah, like on TV. They were like, yeah, here's a bunch of stories of spontaneous combustion. And it's on like primetime television.
Yeah, imagine that shit
Also
happened.
Beyond
Anyway.
Belief
Yeah.
has a bunch of stories like that, and you're like,
It was beyond
And they're
belief.
like,
Made it up.
I exploded.
we did not write this. It is true. And it's like, wait,
They do that.
I saw that
And
shit.
it's like
that
it's
back.
actually based on a book by a famed racist
yeah.
who wrote a lot of these stories.
He didn't make it up.
All right, let's watch this boy.
Listen, show me the Jacob. Show me the boy.
Just found out I'm chopped and also Unc. So thank you, TJ, for a reminder for me to never chaperone a prom again. Sorry I brought up Danny Phantom.
Whoa!
That's funny.
I remember Danny Phantom being the one I was a little too old for.
Same.
That's fun.
In defense of me, with people on my Instagram story, there were people saying that I may be Unc, but I'm not chopped. So
That's a dub.
thank
for
you.
sure.
Y'all
That's,
real ones.
I mean, that's defeating the. You defeated the stereotype.
defeating the chopped allegations.
That's the other thing too. Like, I feel like Unc is more of a vibe than an actual age because there are all these like basketball players that'll say like Alex Caruso is Unc. That guy's like in his 20s. He's just older than a lot of the young guys.
Yeah, because it's the youngest team in the league.
Yeah.
The other thing is like Unc is just big bro, you know. It's like it's relative.
I think there's finding true Unc status is a little bit like I imagine it like fanning your fingers while you listen to someone. Yeah. That's a cool look.
It is another kind of AAVE. I was gonna say escaping containment, but it's more like being stolen out of containment.
It's being put in containment.
Yeah,
like,
it's being
There was actually an article about that where they were talking about how, you know, it comes from AAVE. It's been stolen by internet culture, and they're changing the definition.
Yeah, that's what I mean, where it's like, oh, this is a term that's like OG or something. Like in the black, at least as I understand it, in the black community, or as I knew it like growing up, because it's just like an older like black man
like
who's
big
like
brother,
related to you.
type.
Yeah. And it's a term of affection or whatever. At least that's how I understand it. I could be wrong. I'm not like the expert on everything black, but now it's in this weird mixture of like, it can be used negatively. It can be used, chopped is always negative, but yeah, Unc is kind of, it can wear both hats with the internet people that have co-opted it.
I'm sure there's somebody that spent their life doing too much homework that could have a better phrasing for it or whatever, but I feel like there's something to be said for, maybe I'm absolutely crazy, maybe I'm the friend that's too woke right now. I think there's something that's always been a little iffy to me, a little off to me about the implied funniness of using AAVE terms.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like a very silent part of it, but it's like
like a white kid going, "What's up, dog?"
Yeah, and like it feels like partially these spread because it's ironic.
Right. It's funny. It's funny because look at me. I'm not a black man.
And I think a lot of people would say that that's not why they're doing it, but then my follow-up would be, okay, so why are you doing it?
Well,
just because people are saying
I think it's like the why steal from black people, because like black people in culture is cool.
Yeah.
And I want proximity to coolness.
And stealing from drag culture for the same reasons. A lot of the time. I don't know. I'm not articulating well enough.
I know what you're talking about. I think that it's like, I haven't considered those things to be the same thing, but I've experienced both, like co-opting for cool and also the ironic co-opting of black culture as like a quirked up white boy.
Yes, yeah, exactly that. Neither is like ultra sinister or anything like that. It's more like it's such a subtle vibe that I think is when I picture it as the full appropriation one, I picture as like code switching style, right? Like just being like, having that, thank you, I'll be taking that one. And then the ironic, if that's the closest I can think to, is very much anime avatar profile picture.
Well, it's like punching down almost.
And I think it's diluted. I think by the time it's common parlance, most people aren't thinking about that.
Yeah, I think I agree with that as well.
But it's like this, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, isn't this funny that I'm writing this in lowercase with deliberately bad grammar with my isekai profile picture? And I'm like, maybe I am just internet broken, but that feels like a very specific kind of dialect, like being used in a very specific way, like ratioing J.K. Rowling or something with a very specific aesthetic. And it's like, oh yeah, nice, ratioing J.K. Rowling. Why with those words?
No, there's definitely a weird, like, I think we've probably talked about this many years ago. It's funny because sometimes I feel like I'm co-opting AAVE, and I shouldn't ever feel like that because it's like how my family sounded growing up and how my friends sounded growing up. But because it's like not how I spoke, I felt like there was something disingenuous to it.
Yes,
even though it is a code switching thing as well, because even if I speak the way I speak, there is still a way that I'll slightly code switch my very like talking white-esque speech.
That night, like a few nights ago, I had to briefly talk to a couple of cops, and while I was talking to them, gentlemen. Well, I never. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, not eating too many donuts, are we?
Is that a new cologne I smell upon you?
Let me play with your gun.
Give me.
No, I'm speaking.
Stop
Put a
resisting.
top hat on for some reason.
They just kill me, and everyone's happy about it. That's actually, this one's okay.
All right, let's see this.
Times I felt grandma, coffin. Cat, coffin.
The coffin's funny.
That's like an old lady dying, being rebirthed as a happy cat, and then they die again.
Times I felt Unc. Feeling Unc making this video because, you know when you're on a website and they ask you to put in your birthday? Why is it taking so long to scroll to my birth year now? It used to be like a little adjustment and it would be 2005. But now I'm having to do like 2 giant swipes before even reaching the 2000.
Whoa.
I was going to say, I feel like half the time that's just bad app design.
Yeah.
Were you born today?
Sometimes they'll start either today or in 1900.
Yeah. I know she's kind of good about it. It's just funny to imagine, like, oh my God, what am I going to get?
We're almost there.
It's a giant one. Wow.
I kind of get
thumbs, I
that
guess.
feeling though, because you're like, I've been like, why do I have to scroll so far?
Are you concerned that they're going to, like, not go back far enough anymore for you?
Yeah, like I'm pre-1900s.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is like, by the way,
millennia issue.
at the time that they were starting at 1900, there were people alive that
Just in
like
case.
from 1899 or
Don't
whatever.
think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think
I remember trying
anyone alive now was born in 1900.
Anyone alive right now? There's got to be a
No,
one.
not right now. But I'm saying
When
that
the
in
age,
the early internet
No,
in
no,
like the
no,
90s.
I'm-
Yeah.
I'm just laughing at the idea
Yeah.
that someone's 125.
And
We
I'm
don't have
signing up.
125-year-olds that we know of.
I heard that people are signing up for the chicken
But I do think we have like 118-year-olds or
right.
something, or 16.
Isn't that kind of interesting? Because when I was in my 20s or in high school even,
Civil War.
people would say, well, you know, 30's the new 20 and 40's the new 30. Like that was like a thing for Gen Xers who were like acting younger than the previous generation as far as like, I don't know, like going to see bands into their 30s and stuff, like not having kids, like that kind of
Not
stuff.
marrying the first person you meet.
And so for the longest time, like my whole adult life, people were like, well, you know, 30's the new 20 and 40's the new 30. Now I think 20's the new 40.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
Like
true.
I think it's going the other way in their minds.
I think it's a little bit of both because there's also the kind of stay-at-home son kind of I'm going to be a kid forever type thing because
nostalgia poison.
you just have a lot of millennials who are like, ooh, I'm just a baby.
I do want to, from a sympathetic point of view, I think, and I'll actually throw this to Gen Z and whatever, however we're categorizing Gen Alpha, I guess, but Gen Z onwards, I will give a little bit of leeway on being more self-conscious about age or finding it more noticeable, partially because, like, I mean, we kind of just talked about it. The thing that makes us feel older or like some of the more noticeable changes are your sense of self-awareness because it's mostly healthy cynicism. Taking something you were naive about, experiencing it, and then going like, oh, I had a baby brain 5 years ago. 5 years from now, I will see me as a baby brain. Like you have the perspective to do that. I think every generation, for truly in our extended lifetimes, has pretty much kind of speeded up the cynicism a little bit. I think Gen X, one of the most naive generations in history, because they are coming from a generation that is saying, hey, you need, go ahead, just buy your starter home.
Right.
And then sometimes they could, but also they're in this like weird atomized community and culture and the internet is starting.
When did Gen X start?
Like 70s, right?
I want to say it was like if you were born in like 60 to
65 to 1980.
And then
Yeah.
what was the generation before that?
Boomers.
Boomer.
Because it makes sense. Because that generation, like Hank put out a video about how like almost all of the presidents were born in like the baby boomer generation,
Like 1946.
like 1946, 47, and then And what's interesting is about how they have warped culture. Like all of the holiday songs that we have are like that generation's holiday songs, because it harkens back to the last kind of period of quote unquote American prosperity.
There's a cavity
it's like
right in the
it's like post World War II economic opportunity, et cetera, and like it's like a false reality that like never existed in the way that people talk about it, but it's a thing that they've been able to promise back to and have a point of reference for, and they're all going to die, as we all do, and then there's going to kind of be there's going to only be the mythology of it. It's like guys that are like, we need to get back to an era of real debate and kind of like ancient Greece. And I'm like, who did you talk to that told you about this? What are you talking about? What do you watch a video essay? Did we? I think Gen Z, to their credit, has had like such an overwhelming amount of cynicism in such an overwhelmingly small amount of time. Yeah.
Well,
like they've gone from belief to challenge to belief to challenge to optimism to disappointment on 50 times.
Yeah,
the
millennials had like optimism, and I feel like that's where you got so much like millennial cringe, and I feel like Gen Z is like the kind of response to that, and it's like a lot of cynicism.
But I would say that millennials had optimism until around 2008. Like everything became extremely pessimistic after that.
I mean, at least
and
American
sarcastic.
Well, we got edgy or like sustained a little bit of attitude, but ultimately, like, we got some false pseudo political progressive optimism, right?
Yeah,
like, a lot of like the world's
like
the good guys are winning.
Downward.
I definitely think it's been on a downward.
But I do agree that like having the internet for Gen Z, like they've had the internet their whole lives.
Right.
They've been able to see so much horrible stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying about it's like also to your point is that millennials had that optimism, and then Gen Z is born in becoming lucid only during a period of pessimism.
They were born in the darkness or whatever.
Yeah, they were born in the darkness.
And then we're like I
Batman.
feel like I am fighting against the instinct so much of the time to patronize that era. Like, it would be like, wow, there's
Patreon.com/sadboys.
I'm trying to sign up for using only my discretionary spending $5 a month if you want an episode of Sad Boyz Nightz every single week. It's like a full extended version of the show, but only if you pay.
But I do think. Wait, sorry, you weren't done with your point.
Say, I'm like sometimes self-conscious about being a little too like judgmental about these people just don't get it. They don't know what it's like to actually be old, because Jesus Christ, man, I still even naively hold on to a little bit of the propaganda I got when I was like 9 years old, that you grow up and then you get this and then this thing happens and then the white picket fence and like the not even necessarily things I want, but there was at least like a schema. They at least give me a format.
I feel that way sometimes where I'll be like, oh, this thing is the dream. And then I'm like, wait, that's not my dream. That's just a dream that was fed to me.
And it's also like all very outdated. Like millennials can still remember to like kind of these promises and stuff. But I feel like Gen Z, it's like never been on the table.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense. But Gen Z is now getting to that age where there is some amount of reflection on aging. And I guess that's what like this experience is what they're going through.
Let's watch this Aiden guy.
Which one?
I'm feeling very unk and washed right now.
Capital C.
I don't know if this is like a normal like post-grad. I'm like 2 months into my first real job, and like I don't know. I just like I'm not good at a lot of things I was good at before. I barely play hockey now, and it's like I wasn't that great before, but now it's like I hop on the ice in an over 50 league with my dad, and I fucking suck. I brought my gear with me today because I've been subbing in a Thursday league, and it's like easier to just drive straight to the rink from my office. And
all of his emotions I relate to. The hockey stuff is so inaccessible to
This
me.
is like it's a little like watching I don't know where this guy's from, but it is a little bit like watching like a documentary or something, and then one character says like, And then I felt really sorry. I'm like, what the fuck? Hold on, liar, you're Canadian.
Yeah,
you can't
it's like
trick me.
the three fingers being glorious bastards. Yeah.
I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
I felt like this after I graduated from college, where when I was in college, I was riding my bike every single day. I was walking around campus. I was like doing all this very physical. I even like took yoga classes at school during college. And then afterwards, I'm going to an office job where I'm just bored all day, essentially.
You went to Doge, right?
Uh-huh.
You were one of the people that didn't know how to make a PDF.
No, I'll reveal it because it fucking sucked. And I've talked about it before, but I worked at University of Phoenix, the online school that is based out of Phoenix. And it was honestly the worst few years of my life.
Do you know what year this was?
Yeah, it was 2004. Don't tell me I'm Unc.
Oh, Unc. But you are chopped.
But you are chopped, yeah, and actually washed. No, because my great aunt took classes. I want to say University of Phoenix online classes when she was like 70, and I remember like helping her with her math homework.
It is one of those predatory higher education companies that for a period of time was extremely successful at convincing.
I remember seeing all the commercials.
Yeah. And it was the most it was the kind of job, like no joke, I would wake up and think, could I break my arm to get out of going to work? And
easily.
I just was like so miserable. And so I relate to this kid because I'm like, I was gaining a bunch of weight because all I did was sit at work all day. I wasn't as active as I used to be. I hadn't discovered therapy yet.
No, yeah.
I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I think the few years after graduating college is really hard.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was really easy for me.
Yeah,
okay,
it was like no work for us or whatever.
No. It was like it was like once I got settled, there was a little bit of like, okay, what is life about? What am I supposed to do?
I think.
But you also had a career that had a path to it, and I didn't.
It did have a path, but I think that like, you know, the reason I started taking like improv classes and stuff was because I was like, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
Because I was so focused on getting a job in college that now that I had a stable job and I felt like I had some sort of, I was in this like frustrating situation where at my first job out of college, because I was good at my job, but I felt underutilized. And I couldn't get, this is so funny. Like they wouldn't give me more work to do, basically. I like couldn't get more responsibilities.
At the time where you want peak validation.
Yeah. So
and
I was just like doing less. And I was just like, oh, I'll just like phone it in then, I guess, if you're not going to give me anything else to do.
You're younger than us. Like the idea that, because you've grown up online, which means you've been exposed to basically just every idea ever. And granted, some of those are going to metastasize and maybe make you into like a scary incel murderer, but then other times they might just metastasize and correctly make you a little cynical about the future because of the direction of the world. Can you imagine, like, I don't know, you're like 14, right? And you have 0%, correctly, you have 0% trust in any institution to help you in the future. You are starting at like, you've just basically started to become a human being. And you're like, I remember being 14 and barely being out of like, I'll probably just be an astronaut or something. I remember thinking when I was 14 that I was going to be a writer.
That's more than I had.
But it was only in the sense that like, I knew I couldn't do anything difficult. And I couldn't do any real job in my mind. I thought I was too dumb to do anything that was like learning oriented. I'm like, okay, what can I do with the basic hardware I have right now? And I was like, I'll be a writer. And somehow that covered it completely in my mind. And I dropped out of high school. So I was like, yeah, I'll just be a writer. And I just went and played Fallout 3. And I was just like, yep, that'll be it. There's absolutely no way that right now you can be that age exposed to so much cynicism all the time and then be like, I'm going to go hang out with my friends and not worry about it at all.
I think that's I think that's actually a misunderstanding because because I do think you're right that the cynicism is there. Like the future looks so bleak for a lot of young people, but I think it's for some people channeling into, all right, well then fuck it. I'm just gonna go hang out with my friends. In high school and younger, I had a pretty cynical view of the world. I had a pretty cynical view of institutions, but that's because of my life experience. I wouldn't say that's generational. Like, I think I had a healthy mistrust of anyone in an authority figure. If you want to hear why, check out Boyz Nightz on Patreon. Jarvis and I got into it.
We got into it
a few weeks ago. But
what the hell? Just because I had a stomach bug, you wouldn't hang out with me?
Because you had a stomach bug, we got real.
We got real. There is like I cannot remember the term. Oh, it's economic nihilism. That Gen Z has, because like, so everything, not Gen Z, I mean, like a lot of people have this right now, because just like it feels like everything is trending towards gambling. Just saw that the CEO of Kalshi is now the youngest paper billionaire. This woman in Kalshi is like one of those prediction markets companies. Is like Polymarket is another thing that's like blown up. CNN just announced a partnership with Kalshi, and so they're integrating prediction markets into the fucking news. It feels like to get ahead, you have to like have a scam or like be doing some sort of like drop shipping type hustle.
And that's not even hidden now. It's not, it was always fake.
Yeah.
But or like the institutions are never on your side, but at least like, the slogan for Geico would be like, I'm a lizard and I want you to be safe.
Well, it's like,
it's just like
unprecedented amounts of like, buy now, pay later, like credit card debt, things that
I have heard so many people with student loan debt say, why pay it off? I'm going to be paying this for the rest of my life. So who gives a shit?
This is just interest on life.
Literally, because there's two different types of loans. There's subsidized and unsubsidized loans, and I can't remember which ones have a fixed interest rate, but the ones that don't, you pay those off because it's exponential. Like, but literally the other ones you should probably just. I'm not financial advice, but it's like
some would say
it's hard to justify
paying them off.
Especially here. I mean, who knows?
Well, especially right now, because there was that whole thing where Biden tried to do the loan forgiveness. So did Obama, and then it's been so stuck in court and back and forth that some people have gotten some loans forgiven and some haven't.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we were really hoping for this, and now it's not. We know it's not going to ever come.
Because it's so it seems so seemingly impossible to have any sort of come up in this economy for this generation. You just have an unprecedented amount of people taking on risk because who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't fucking matter. Like
it's like the same condition of like living on borrowed time or whatever. Like that kind of mindset, which is again, I won't say healthy, but perfectly reasonable as an instinct. Weird thing though, ultimately, is though the circumstances are more transparent now and the material result is like so much more, and when you're so much younger, this kind of like cynicism is necessary. However, the prescription is still kind of exactly the same, which is that really the only impact that you can have is on your immediate physical surroundings. Like, you have been lied to that your hustle and grind and sending enough DMs to celebrities will get you a gig that will like pull you out of the dirt. But it is, and it always has been, astronaut meme, the only real thing that you have control over is the space around you and the community that you're supporting and mutually being supported by. It just so happened that now that is also 10 times harder to access because it's been supplemented by online communities being the like prescriptive solution, which they just aren't, only because they aren't the air around your body. And it is harder to make friends and create a community because you have less time, because you can't get a job, because you can't get any money. It's like, I feel so no names named, and none of the people that we actively hang out with. But it does sometimes get a little bit tiring to be at a party or an event or something with people that we know have unfathomable amount of wealth. Like, so much that they wouldn't say it out loud.
Oh.
Right.
And indulging in financial anxiety because it is chic. It sometimes, I think, not getting to complain about money is the tax you pay on having a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
Right.
That is the
true.
one thing in the universe you don't get to have. Because you can buy anything else.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, someone online is allowed to make fun of you for
That's
having
true.
too much money. And like, it's such a small punishment, but I think there's like, it's like, it doesn't exactly apply, but like the whole Elon thing where he's like always trying to impress the least valuable personalities online for some reason. There's this weird self-consciousness that people have about their financial standing that I think a lot of the time, forgive me if I'm rambling, this doesn't make sense, but like a lot of the time, I feel like people get self-conscious about their financial position and then they kind of wave it off as like, well, yeah, you know, I've obviously multi-millionaire, you know, whatever, but like, it's just, you know, I still feel anxious about stuff. You know, there's kids starving in Africa, but like, it's all relative to have relative feelings. And I'm kind of getting to the point in my life in general where I'm like, I don't think it is valuable to have relative feelings. I think they actually do matter less because of circumstances. I think my circumstances matter less than somebody in worse material conditions.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean like you can't talk about it, but I think when a lot of people in very comfortable positions, or really actually even comfortable positions, talk about it with like the same level of cynicism or like pseudo activist aesthetics without really actually actively doing something, I think it is corrosive. I don't think it is like a net zero where they just go like, I know, I'm just complaining. Like, sorry.
Well,
I think it's
also
dangerous.
just in public versus in private too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going on like a panel or something, right? Like, and it's like, how do I get into YouTube? And they're like, well, you just got to work really hard. I'm like, no, you got to make stuff, but like, it's not like every single YouTube channel improves with quality, and like a channel with one more subscriber than another is not 1 point more valuable than the other one.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. Anybody that's more than anything I've ever done is morally worse than me.
I really want to watch more of this. Yeah.
Hockey Hank.
Because I wanted to see where all he talked about so far was hockey. I want to hear like what he's saying.
I didn't even never even got the text to sub tonight, so now like my gear's just been steaming in my truck all day and it smells like fucking dog shit in here. And I'm not even gonna play. I don't want to go out anymore either. It's just like on the weekends I'm so tired. I like don't even feel like drinking. Like going to a bar is like, oh my God, it's such a task. And like literally last year it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, let's go. Let's get after it.
Such a hockey guy.
It speaks to like how like
days.
corporate 9-to-5s like drain the life out of you.
Yes.
Like by design.
I remember when people were calling her 9-to-5 girl or something like that. It was like maybe 3 years ago.
Who was complaining about her commute and
Who
stuff.
was complaining about her fucking nightmare commute.
Yeah,
Her
it was like
anxiety
very-
about her finances,
yeah.
her living situation, and everyone's instinct was to instantly reinforce like 1950s era principles and values.
Yeah.
And I mean everyone that would complain about equally like correctly complain about the state of the world and the way that they feel like they've been positioned. But there was just something. There was like a Winter Soldier trigger that happened in everyone where they saw like, there's a woman and she's talking about her life.
Yeah.
Well, at least you've got a job. And I'm like,
Yeah, and
it
it's like-
fucking sucks. She's saying she has to make
Welcome
this
to the
huge
real
commute.
world.
Like, what? No, she's saying the real world sucks. And so did you in your last tweet.
It's so weird that people jump to defend institutions or systems
Yeah.
that are not like necessarily built to serve you. Like I feel like the only way the world gets better is if we do criticize and question and strive for, you know, to improve these things.
And it starts with saying like, hey, this sucks.
Yeah. It doesn't always have to be actionable.
Yeah, it doesn't start with like
also,
an essay.
It's so weird that people don't say, I relate to this feeling. I've had a situation like that where I had a horrible commute or a bad job, or even just, capitalism fucking sucks. Like it is draining to the average human. Like it's not, this is what this young man is experiencing discrimination depression.
Well, the thing is and I will slightly discuss that point of like, I don't even feel like we're not experiencing true capitalism. We're experiencing we're experiencing a complete reverse socialism, like corporatism, drain of public institutions, privatization of public service, an absence of one of the core principles of capitalism, which is competition.
Yeah.
So it's like it even feels disingenuous to just wash this away as capitalism, because this is this weird like bastardization of a system that should allow for healthy competition. We have unprecedented consolidation and monopolies, and so it's like
maybe it's just more appropriate to say like an oppressive system.
Yeah, it's like a corporatocracy.
Yeah.
You know, like,
But it's like a term like Republican is now an antiquated word for what is a modern conservative. It like doesn't actually refer to the thing anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't refer to a republic.
But it becomes part of the lexicon and changes its meaning, whatever. Really, I think these days, if we say capitalism, we are pretty explicitly talking about American
hegemony,
hippopotamusy, like American monoculture capitalism.
Yeah. It's like American capitalism could be its own term that is like kind of abstracted to mean, okay, it's not like Adam Smith, like clean, free hand of the market or whatever. What was it called? What was the Adam Smith thing?
Utilitarian.
Not free market, the invisible hand.
Right.
The invisible hand.
It's not like an Atlas Shrugged to kind of like survival of the fittest, Darwin. It's kind of like if we were saying survival of the fittest, Darwinian evolution, except there's like a sniper that hates some animals.
Yeah, because
just like kills them indiscriminately.
It's like, okay, but like you can just buy up you can raise money to buy up all your competitors. If you get too big, then you can't fail because the government will bail you out. So
why have I not been doing this?
But if you're the little guy, the government may not help you. And in fact, we're villainizing people who make use of the legal social services that are allowed because they're not working hard enough. And actually, you can't get a candy bar if you're on SNAP benefits because you don't deserve sugar. You don't deserve a treat because you're not pulling yourself up hard enough by your bootstraps.
Which is all you were doing with it anyway. You were a professional welfare collector. You were buying a TV and a PS5.
Yeah, you were stealing from the government to buy your candy bar, and don't look at the person who is stealing millions of dollars from it's like when you found out all of those conservative like talking heads and stuff had all these shell businesses and were taking out PPP loans and effectively defrauding the government of money that was meant to be helping like real small businesses in a time of need. It's like
is that the merit you keep talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Those are the people. It's not the fucking mother of three who like wants a treat after working a double shift and trying to put food on the table for her kids.
I keep seeing people on TikTok using the term individual responsibility.
Yeah.
I believe in individual responsibility. It's like, this is a term that was strategically created to make it sound like you're being irresponsible if you need a little help. And it's like, so...
Well, then why do we live near each other?
Yeah. Shouldn't we just like...
We should just not live in neighborhoods then.
We should literally have silos.
And now you get the people who are like, well, they shouldn't build any housing around my housing because I need to live in a fortress of solitude.
Yeah.
Individual responsibility.
Not in my backyard.
Let's watch a little bit more of this and then we can watch
I do have a fondness for hockey, guys. Maybe just because we used to work with so many.
I'm glad that he was willing to be vulnerable with the internet in this, in sharing this clear moment of frustration that I think a lot of people that like resonates with a lot of people.
And to be
100%.
fair, respect for filming it in your car. I think we can all say with authority, hockey is the stinkiest sport in history. There've been a lot of hockey cars, and they're doing something to it. There's something else going on. It's not just sweat. Something's different.
Up.
It's been steaming in the
such
back.
a
Open the windows.
Well, it's like cold outside, dude.
Good, clear it out. Kill the bacteria.
But his emotion is like very palpable and very relatable.
Also, if like the system's not working for a guy that looks like that,
We're all
who's it
doomed.
supposed to be working for?
Bro, if Elordi isn't getting anything out of it, what's left for us?
Yeah, he does look like Jacob Elordi.
Yeah.
I'm also just out of it on social media. I don't know what's going on anymore. I open any social media app and it's just like, I'm getting fooled by AI 75% of the time. Not a great stat.
That's brave.
I'm gonna get
That's brave
scammed
to
like
say that.
really soon, which is so tough to admit. These celebrity impressions, I gotta look it up. I don't know if they said that or not. I saw a post that's saying that it discovered a bright orange shark and fully believed it had a genetic disorder, and sent that to one of my friends, and they were like, "You're an idiot." You actually believe that?
Dude, this is so
That's
vulnerable.
really funny.
It's like such what it feels like to age.
It
like,
is so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I had to ask my nephew how to use the iPad.
Even I'm guilty of getting frustrated with, like extended members of my family and just being like, just do it the right way, as though I don't have this literacy that was already built in. Like, I'm out of the loop on social media, but it's largely elective. Like, I've largely just not engaged with it because I don't think it was part of my life at an era where I developed, like, I don't want to say a love for it, but a real relationship with it. I think I didn't get on Instagram till really late, and then that's really the only one I'll scan now. And I post so little because I forget about it. Like, if I listen to an audiobook, I'm like, oh, I really like audiobooks, but my thumb doesn't go to that app. My thumb goes to like podcasts, Gmail, or Instagram.
Yeah, opening and closing the social media app.
And it's
I
like,
do-
if you grew up and like Instagram was life, like that and TikTok was literally life. That's where you
your
spoke
whole
to people.
community.
I can't imagine what it would then be like. It's like if the moment if you start a new job, you just have to delete iMessage. Like, you no longer can talk to people there because you just can't use it. Sorry.
I do think I would be so much less out of touch if it weren't for my job. Like, I think I'm like the person in my old friend group who has to explain stuff to people because they're like, what is this thing? So this guy just brings up one last point that we haven't touched on yet, which I think is interesting.
Gen Z is starting to realize what happens when you base your value on your youth. Because guess what? We're getting older. And a lot of Gen Z thought that 25 was old and that they were going to be 16 forever or 18 or 21 forever. And now they're realizing, no, I'm going to age. I'm going to be in my 30s and my 40s. And if I'm lucky, I'm going to make it to old age. And many people just don't know how to feel about it. So they're being absorbed into nostalgia, idolizing their childhood in a way that doesn't make any sense for someone who's aging.
I think maybe it's just you notice it more when you're in it. I think millennials have the most dangerous relationship with nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Gen X also to some degree, but the millennial relationship with nostalgia we get the benefit, if you want to call it that, or the buff to our nostalgia obsession by how inaccessible a lot of it is. Like, we can think about like, oh, I remember watching Ed, and Eddie. Oh, remember Ed, and Eddie? I literally don't know where to go to watch Ed, and Eddie right now. I can't indulge in it. I get to rose tint it because I don't have photos of me watching it. I don't have old group chats where we would talk about it. It literally just sits in my memory. Nostalgia for Gen Z is re-consuming it. Mm-hmm. It's like actively not doing new shit. I think one of the unique things about Gen Z nostalgia, as I understand it, is that there's a lot of nostalgia for times that Gen Z didn't experience,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is, I think, unique to like my experience, where it's like a lot of the stuff I'm nostalgic for was like my actual experiences. I feel like Gen Z has almost like a fantastical experience with nostalgia, where it's like calling back to kind of times that maybe didn't even exist.
I know, when I think of nostalgia, I kind of imagine it like, you know, when you walk past a bakery and it smells like a very specific kind of bread, and you go like, oh my God, 2007. Mm-hmm. So it has to have a tie to my life, versus people that are really into the 80s and were born in like the Obama administration. Like, what about the 80s did you, it's the colors. Oh, Stranger Things. Okay, right, I'm with you.
But yeah, this is like, it does circle back to people calling me old on social media, where it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to be so vindictive and be like, you know, it'll happen to you too, or this is what happened. I wouldn't go as far as to say like, this is what happens when you place your value on your youth, but I totally understand where this person's coming from in terms of like interpreting. I do think that like there is something to like overvaluing that youth, because it's something that is fleeting, and having to come to terms with like what it all means when you don't have that.
I think what he's saying is actually a pretty normal thing, where when you're young, you think A, you're going to live forever, and B, you're not going to be as bad as the people who came before you. And it's like, there will be people in your generation who suck. And there will be, you will make mistakes that people made in the generations before you. It doesn't mean you're bad or anything, but it's so normal to criticize the generations that came before you. It's just a normal thing that
it's also
young people do.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
It's like it's a punching up, about as reliable a punch up as it gets. I can't believe we didn't mention this at all, but also the pandemic.
Well,
you have the pandemic happening at the moment where you could have had the most kind of grounding and socialization that kind of sets you up for life to some degree, makes you go like, oh, right, age, time, so-and-so. They basically got paused for 3 years.
Well, I do think that's like part of like your whole community is online. You know, like your whole life is online for those 2 years. And that for sure changes things.
But for many people, their lives are online just in perpetuity as well.
And then you actually get a job, and then it's like, God, in my free time, finally I can go online.
Yeah.
Like, and then it is just back up.
Exactly. What do you think? Is 25 the new 35? Is Gen Z complaining about nothing? Or do you have economic nihilism? I don't know what I'm saying. Let us know in the comments down below.
Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe,
in every
guys.
episode of Sad Boys, we always talk to you like this, and this is very normal.
One episode. Imagine that.
Yeah.
One episode, and it is like, we can never listen to it. I mean, I would go insane. 2009 style YouTube episode.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like, I'm thinking like, me when the face is bacon.
Me when the face is bacon. Damn.
Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for sad boysing, I guess.
We're going to be heading over to Sad Boyz Nightz, where we might talk about the main character of Twitter being about AI music and everyone dunking on them, and how we may know that person in real life, but we'll be really respectful and we won't even mention them by name, and it's fine. Or perhaps we'll talk about the one of the major subreddits going into a full tailspin because power tripping moderators. Joe Rogan thinks AI is Jesus. You can't tell AI photos from real photos anymore. We're kind of cooked.
You want to go play hockey, but you look at a video and you think Joe Rogan did The Matrix or something.
Only your discretionary entertainment spending of just $5 a month.
Listen as a family. Gather around the hearth and listen to
the boys.
And,
or don't.
What don't? I bet you're not even brave enough. Oh, yeah. You're scared, aren't you? Sorry, crazy energy to bring to it.
We end every episode of Sad Boys with a particular phrase.
We love you.
And we're sorry.
Boom.
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 Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it.
Girl, too rich for me.